It's match preview. London Derby, West Ham versus Spurs. Always one of those games that you really look forward to, don't you? See it in the fixture list and you think, yeah, that's the one you look forward to. Spurs at home. But before we get into it, if you're new to the channel, do subscribe. It takes 2 seconds to do so. Really do appreciate it. The channel's growing really well at the moment, so we really do appreciate you supporting us. So hit that like button. So anything you can do to help us out, we really do appreciate it. Before we get into the preview, Tom, how are you, mate? I haven't seen you for a little while. You been good?
I'm very good, thank you. Yeah, it's been a week off, obviously, the football. It's my birthday last weekend, so that kind of took centre stage rather than the football. So that was good. But no, I'm glad it's back after a win against Forest a couple of weeks ago. It's good to be back. So yeah, happy with that.
Well, a nice little birthday present for you, mate. Nice little birthday present, which was good. And before we also get to preview, mate, we want to talk about Iron Threads. Now, this is a shop we've been talking about a little bit recently on the channel, but you want to disclose a little bit more because this is a project that you're firmly involved with, Tom. So do you want to sort of explain where we are with things and how it's all going?
Yeah, absolutely. Mark, you've kindly sort of given us a shout out over the past few weeks. So really appreciate that. It's a new brand, as you say. We're trying to basically give some really clean, stylish West Ham clothing at as affordable pricing as we can do. Because to be honest, I found myself on the West Ham clothes website, and I've always find the sort of designs a little bit garish, a little bit too out there. So I just was looking for some just nice, clean designs, and I haven't always been able to find it. So I've started this brand up. Yeah, I'm really sort of happy with what we're doing. We've got a new line of t-shirts and hoodies called Iron Essentials, which I'm wearing now. I just so if you can see that.
Look at that.
It's a good quality t-shirt, just the cross hammers, like I say, nice and simple, clean designs. And we're going to do 10% off for people coming from this channel, members of this channel. So the discount code will be West Ham Way 10. We'll put that in the description. And I also want to do a giveaway, Mark, and I believe you're going to tell them the details of that.
Yes, and this is in association with BETMATE, which is also our partner. So BETMATE, we're doing it for the West Ham Spurs game. This is a bit of a new one for us. It's like a fantasy football. Just for that particular game, you pick your best 11 from either West Ham or Spurs players and your bench, pick your captain and vice captain, and there's no cost to players. So you can pick the best players, you know what I mean? There's no sort of limit on what you can do. We're doing a competition. The link in the description below. Click on the link to BETMATE and then type in the code WHW-02. I'll put all the details below anyway in the pot. And it's free to enter, by the way, Tom. Completely free to enter. And also for that, we're giving away money as well. So not only do you get what I'm going to show you in a second, which is a hoodie we're giving away from Iron Threads, but also first prize gets 20 quid, second prize gets 16, third 7. Basically, the top 20 get some money back on it. And when I say money back, well, free money. You not even have to pay to enter. So, and basically, I'm going to share the screen now of the hoodie. But bear with me because this is technology now, Tom. This is where it all goes horribly wrong. So this is the Iron Essentials Navy hoodie. As you can see, 35 quid there. But we're giving this away to the winner. So not only do you get 20 quid, it's a beautiful hoodie. I've got to be honest. Like Tom was saying, like that sort of slick design and not too garish. It's like nice hammers in the corner in gold. It looks like an orange actually, Tom, isn't it? It looks really nice. I'm really impressed. I've got to be honest with Iron Threads. It's been really like quite a. It's kind of aligns with how I'd like to be honest. So I'm a little bit like you. Maybe I'm just getting a bit old. Who knows? But no, I like it. I really do. So really, really nice. So that's the giveaway. We've got the detailed description below. Free to enter. Why not? Give it a go. And as I say, we'll give away a free hoodie as well to the winner, plus some cash prizes. So all good, matey. All good. Right. Should we talk about football though? Then I suppose we should.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it.
Tottenham, of course, big in the news quite a bit recently because of Daniel Levy stepping down or being removed. I believe he was actually removed. I think what I've heard, it wasn't a case of that and I don't believe he was even really aware of it. The reports were that he was even had in his diary meetings for the rest of that day. He was brought into a room and they just went, "You're off." So I don't know what's happened there, but it seems quite a big thing for a guy that's been at the club for the best part of 15 years, something like that, maybe 20 years, something like that. So a long time. So we know that as West Ham fans, what that can feel like, and no one wanting change. So there's definitely a boost there. But they are. I'm going to be honest here. Sorry, Tom. I haven't been overly impressed with Tottenham. I don't think they've been that great, to be honest, to start with. I know that I think they're sitting in the top 4 at the moment. So results-wise, I think they've been all right. Performance-wise, not so good. coming off the back of a loss as well to Bournemouth at home, which I thought they were dreadful. I've got to be honest. 90 minutes, they were the worst team throughout the 90 minutes. Never at any point did they look like scoring. What's your thoughts on them? What's your thoughts on them at the moment this season?
Yeah, I think they're going through another transition period, aren't they? Much like West Ham, they've had a lot the last few years of a real extreme excuse me, of styles. They've gone for the real had the sort of attacking manager in Pochettino. Then they flipped to the sort of pragmatic counter-attacking style of Mourinho and Conte, and then back to the sort of high-risk football of Postecoglou. And I feel like they've gone with a sensible choice with Thomas Frank. I think it's the first one that sort of sits in between that, right down the middle. With he wants his teams to attack, but also is fairly cautious and makes sure his teams are set up well. So I think in terms of the managerial choice, I feel like it's a sensible one. But yeah, they've obviously had a bit of a mismatch of a start, really. Obviously, a very good result against City. They always seem to do well against City. And then beating Burnley, which you always feel like is a comfortable win. But a defeat against Bournemouth, which I don't think they would have wanted, obviously, and would have expected. But I think those teams are going to catch Tottenham out this season. I think against the bigger sides, Tottenham will do well because they'll sit in and hit on the break, which they definitely have good pace going forward. And I think against the lesser teams, they'll do well as well. But I think those middle of the table teams, the likes of Bournemouth and Palace and Forest and teams like that can hit them on the break, I think they will struggle with. So yeah, it's a bit of a mismatch of a start for them, but I do like Thomas Frank as a manager. I'm a bit annoyed that they've appointed another likeable manager. I don't like Tottenham having likeable managers, to be honest with you. I think he will get them playing. I think they just looked at it, to be honest, mate, and just said, we can't have another 17th finish. That can't happen. So which manager gives us a best chance of just a top 7 or 8 finish, and I'll be majorly shocked if they don't finish in the top 7 or 8. So, yeah, I sort of understand what you're saying in terms of the performances haven't been quite as good as they would have probably hoped, but they've brought in a couple of players late in the window. I like Xavi Simons and Kolo Muani, and I think they'll have an okay season. I think they'll be pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very on the fence with him, to be honest, and I'm on the fence with Thomas Frank. Don't get me wrong, like you've kind of alluded there to how I see him. He's a top 10 manager. I think he's a really solid Premier League manager. I'm really not sure he is the manager though that Tottenham want. And by that, I mean that sort of ambition that they want to be as a football club. Let's be honest, Tottenham and the board, fans, whatever, I'm sure their ambition is beyond 8th, 9th. Their ambition is to be, we want to be top 4, challenging as well within that top 4, not just be scraping in the top 4. We want to be in there, in around it all season, and hopefully even possibly in the title talk at some stage. You know what I mean? I think that's where they see themselves. I don't believe they're there, don't get me wrong, but I think that's where they want to be. I'm just not sold yet on Frank for that. I don't get me wrong. He did a fabulous job at Brentford. He took a club like that into the Premier League, made them a solid Premier League team. I've just never really I've never watched Brentford and thought, wow, you know what I mean, blown away by their football and thought, really impressed by them. I've just found them to be quite pragmatic. Don't get me wrong, some half decent football, but very kind of, just a good all round Premier League team. But I'm just not sure on it, and I think as well, bearing in mind the Levy situation now, I think it's going to play a factor in Thomas Frank because he didn't appoint him. Levy appointed Frank. He's now lost his, the guy that brought him in. So I think that's going to add a little bit of pressure to him. I'm just not sure, mate. And I'll tell you what, I watched that Bournemouth game, and it's not all right. Look, we had bad days, for Christ Almighty. West Ham have been shocking. Aside from the Nottingham Forest game, we've been terrible. So we're no one to talk. But I was quite surprised by how bad Tottenham were because they couldn't answer anything. You'd thought, all right, they were really bad the first half. Right, Frank will get this sorted out the second half. They if anything, they looked worse. Really struggled. So I'm just not sure yet. I think there's not enough evidence yet. I think it's a big task for him, and I've got a feeling this Levy situation has made it bigger for him because you've now got a new ownership model coming in, got new ideas. And usually they've got an idea of who they want in charge. We've seen it every time ownership changes at football clubs that the current managers don't tend to stay that long after. It's very rare that they stick with them for long haul. So I do wonder where his mind's at now, where he's thinking, oh dear, this is not quite what I signed up for. But it'd be interesting to see. Before we go on to West Ham, matey, we've got to talk about Mohammed Kudus, of course, back at London Stadium. Very strange, Kudus. I'm puzzled by his attitude actually towards West Ham since his departure. I get that he's a Tottenham player now, and I get that he needs to warm himself to those fans. That's his new allegiance, and he's got every right to do so. But I think to keep sort of digging it at West Ham when really we had no problem with Kudus, there was no issue with the relationship. I think the fans were always on his side. I don't really get it. I've always found it a bit odd that he sort of straight away got there. He couldn't wait to sort of stick it over to West Ham fans, and it is a bit odd. I think he's going to certainly feel it. What are your thoughts on Mr. Kudus ahead of his return?
Yeah, not great, not particularly positive. Likewise, I felt like the whole move was a strange one. How it was said. I know it's maybe not the case, but he only ever wanted Tottenham. Found that to be a little bit disrespectful.
Well, after Liverpool, Arsenal, and Chelsea,
exactly,
then he wanted Tottenham. Yeah.
Then he only wanted Tottenham. I feel like a lot of people sort of said, well, he's not a West Ham fan, and why shouldn't he move to Spurs? But if I played in Spain and I moved to Sevilla, or let's say Real Betis, I know not to move to Sevilla. Do you know what I mean? I do feel like there must be knowledge there that he's going to get some stick for moving to Spurs, and maybe he doesn't care. And like you say, what he said recently in the media, how he sort of adorned himself to the Spurs fans and sort of slagged off West Ham a little bit. He obviously doesn't care about the hostile environment I expect him to get on Saturday. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of players that do most of their talking in the media. I think he needs to crack on and do his talking on the football pitch. He's obviously a very, very talented player, but we just didn't see enough of it last season. So I don't think he can moan about the fact that some West Ham fans said, yep, take the money and run. And he needs to obviously show what he can do for Spurs. Hopefully he doesn't do that tomorrow. But yeah, I'm not a big fan. I think if fans are going to boo Declan Rice, and I don't want to get onto that subject, but surely we should be booing Kudus, because from my mind, he's in a worse situation. So yeah, not a big fan, and I hope he has an absolute stinker tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll certainly join you in that. Yeah, just strange. Just a weird way he's gone about it. And yeah, like you say, we didn't really get the best out of him. We certainly saw some brilliance from him in his first season at the club. He really was good. And as you say, he will be a good player for Spurs, I'm sure. But we know Kudus. We know what he's like. He is a bit of a moody player. When things aren't going quite well on the pitch, he's not really the best to have around. He's not saying his head goes, but he runs into trouble. He can be quite frustrating at times, and you can see he's not the best about it. So I think West Ham need to exploit that. We know how to get at him, and I think I'm pretty sure we will do everything we can to put him right off his game. And the players will be well aware of how his mind works and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's going to be certainly interesting. On to West Ham though now, Tom. An interesting game in terms of for Graham Potter. This is a big game. There's no getting around it. This is an opportunity for West Ham and Graham Potter to seriously get our season up and running. We're coming off the back of a fabulous win at Nottingham Forest. We fully deserved the 3-0 win. We were the better team, and we played really well. And I was delighted with it. It was needed. It feels, our home form hasn't been great under Graham Potter. In fact, it's actually been terrible. So this feels like a really good opportunity to start the season. We've had the Chelsea game. We don't want to think about that, but this feels like an opportunity here now to really get a big result over a London rival, and get our campaign right up and running, because back-to-back wins would be massive. It really help our league position as well. It just breathes so much confidence. It feels like a big game, and he's got in terms of the squad, Tom, apart from Nicholas Fulkrug, who might even be available, I don't think he is, but Potter suggested he could be, but I don't believe he will be. You've got Lucas Fabianski back in the squad now. You've got George Urphy's also fit. You've got Magassa, who could be available to make his debut. You've got Matthias Fernandes. You've got Jared Bowen, Lucas Paqueta. We've got Somerville back. This is a really strong West Ham team. I tell you, this is a very good time to be playing Tottenham, who have got a horrid record, by the way, at at London Stadium. They really haven't played up. I think they haven't got a result out of place for about 4 or 5 years now. It's quite a while, which I'm probably giving it the kiss of death. But This feels like a big opportunity, Tom. What's your feelings in a West Ham perspective going into this?
Yeah, very much the same. This is no excuses for Potter. I said the same before the Forest game. Like, you're starting to bring in the players that you wanted to bring in to improve our midfield, and that was obviously needed. So no excuses. You've got players there. Summerville's back from injury, who's a massive plus, like you say. So yeah, no excuses. You need to deliver a performance. I don't think we should be accepting anything like what we saw against Chelsea. Because that was just completely unacceptable. I can take losing. Being a West Ham fan, you have to accept losing, but I cannot take just the down tools and just the capitulation that we saw against Chelsea. And if that happens against Tottenham, with the problem with the board and the ownership and the fans and all the sort of protests and all that kind of stuff coming up as well, you're just going to be adding fuel to the fire. So he better get a performance, an aggressive fighting performance out of this group of players. And he's got the quality to actually cause Tottenham some problems. Like you say, Bournemouth definitely caused them lots of problems, ended up winning the game comfortably, albeit only 1-0. But it's just no excuses for me. Like he has to pick a team. We'll come on to the team in a bit. I think he'll probably pick the same team as the one at Forest, bar obviously Wilson coming in from the start. And I'm a bit fearful of that, but whoever he goes with, it has to work. If he delivers a performance that is anything like Chelsea or even the opening game against Sunderland, I think he's gonna get more pressure coming towards him, and rightly so. So massive game. I really want to see an aggressive fighting performance from West Ham. Get the crowd on our side, and give it to Tottenham because they're vulnerable. Like you say, they're vulnerable. Why should we? We've got no reasons to sit back in this game. We should be all guns blazing, going at them. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping to see tomorrow.
I think we will, Tom. I think we will. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty good about this game. I've been feeling good about it really for a while, and I thought my mood would shift a little bit. But it hasn't. If anything, I'm feeling a little bit more confident. You know, sort of Matheus Fernandes playing. All right, he got sent off for the under-21s in Portugal, but it was 2 yellow cards, right? He was sensational. Like he was absolutely he completely bossed that game. He was everything about him. I thought he was an absolute joy to watch. And then you've got Paqueta going abroad, scoring for Brazil again. I think he's now on 5-6 goals this season already, or something like that. Well, not this season, but the last 10 games he scored something like 6-7 goals. He's on very good form at the moment, Paqueta, for scoring goals. Obviously scored for us as well in the penalty against Forest. He's put out a big social media message. All right, it might be indicating this might be his last season, but his love for West Ham, and he's clearly up for it. You've got Summerville, who looked brilliant, coming back on against Forest, up for it, created all sorts of problems. You've got Bowen, all right, he went away with England, didn't play much, but bloody hell, he looked great when he did. He looked sharp and really good. So I'm going into this game thinking, bloody hell, we have got some players in really good form here. You've got Magassa as well, that we don't know much about, but is rumoured to be very, very good, been impressive apparently in training. So... And I think as well, we've got the formula that works now. I think he's tried this back 3, back 5, whatever you want to call it. It hasn't worked. We've gone to switch to the back 4. I mean, he won't change. He'd be suicidal to go, let's go and change it back. I don't see why you would. You've got a system now that works well. I think although you look at the Spurs team, like you said, they've got some very good players. They make some excellent signings this summer. I mean, I know they've had a torrid summer because of the amount of players they went for and it went pear-shaped, but they've still done some good business. But I look at West Ham's squad and think, you know what I mean? If we're in the form that we're in, I don't think they'll be rubbing their hands together for this game, Spurs. I think this is going to be a tough encounter, and they know they haven't got a great record this ground. So I'm feeling good. A player I do want to talk about quickly before we do our teams is Callum Wilson. Winning over West Ham fans, it feels. He came in under a cloud, under the Sullivan cloud, and everyone was thinking, oh, Christ. And I was worried about how he would perform. I just thought we were going to get a very leggy player that just looked a little bit like a bit of a Danny Ings kind of esque, just a bit like, yeah, he's all right. He's trying, huffing and puffing, but, but actually, I don't think we're getting that. I think we're seeing actually a player that's looking pretty sharp. He's looking pretty good. He's, scored a fabulous goal against Forest. Made a big difference. He seems to be saying all the right things. I mean, I don't know if you saw his interview with Bowen after that game, but there were real good camaraderie between them two. They seem to be like they know each other really well. What are your feelings on Wilson? Is he starting to win you over, Tom?
Not yet for me. Not yet. I'm a little bit harder on that kind of stuff, and probably a bit too so. But yeah, I feel like he needs to. We need a few more goals before I'll be getting my shirt with Callum Wilson on the back. I think it will be interesting to see him from the start. And again, that's not me just trying to be overly negative for the sake of it, but he's coming onto a game where there's opportunity, there's tired legs in the Forest defence. We obviously get on top because of Somerville coming on as well, and he gets the opportunity. Will he get that same opportunity from the off against Spurs? I'm not too sure. So that remains to be seen for me, whether he can start and play. Like you said, I don't think he's going to be a 90-minute man at all because of his age and injury record and in his legs. But I think if we can see a good 60, 70 minutes out of him and then bring on whoever to replace him if Falkirk has got 20 minutes in him, great. So, yeah, it remains to be seen. I think he needs to do a bit more to win me over. But he's made a good start. He's made a much better start than I anticipated. I have to admit and be open that I thought it was an absolute disaster of a signing. Was very negative about it. So he started off well, good goal, and he does. He is a character. Like with his podcast with Antonio, you can tell he's a character, and I never got any sort of impression that he wouldn't get on with the lads and get on with the likes of Bowen and stuff like that. So I think he's good to have around the place, but. Yeah, a few more goals, please, Callum, and then I'll be your mate.
Yeah, I think what you're seeing with Wilson, like you say, it's more he needs to do, of course, and to show that he's been a really good signing. Yes, we're only game 4 of the season; it's a long way to go. But I think what you see with him, he is a quality striker. Well, I know he's past his best. There's no doubt, but he's got that quality about him and that movement and the way he's got that eye for goal. I just think there's something about him. You think, you know what, he's very useful to have around. If we can keep him fit, I think he'll be very useful for us this season. Right, on to the teams then. So I'm guessing, just speaking for you, I'm guessing you're keeping the same formation. I've gone for 4-2-3-1. 4-2, yeah, 4-2-3-1. Yeah.
If he changes that, he's a madman. So yeah, 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, I don't see how he changes it. Why would you? You know what I mean? You've just done it, and it works so well. There's no need to change anything. So, right, I'm guessing we're going to have a pretty similar. Well, actually, no. I think the goalkeeper and defence, I'll be surprised if it's changed. But let's see what you say. What are you going for your back line?
Yeah, Hermansen in goal, clean sheet, and build his confidence up after a difficult start. So keeping him in. I've gone Kyle Walker-Peters at right back. I felt like he did well. Again, clean sheet. I'd rather keep him in the side. He obviously playing against his former side in Spurs. So yeah, keep him in. Mavropanos and Kilman for the same sort of reasons. And Juve at left back. Yeah, clean sheet. Juve got an assist at the end. So yeah, no reason to change that side of it. No.
Yeah, I'm the exactly the same for me. I don't see any point in changing anything. Now this is where now things get very, very interesting because we've got players now. We've gone from a frustrating situation at West Ham where you just feel like, well, every system we try and put together, it looks crap. To suddenly now, like you've got a few options that make you go, oh, this could actually be quite exciting. So, who are your 2 midfielders? Are you going for?
So I've gone a bit out there. Well, I say it's not that out there, but I want to see Fernandes and Magassa start. If they're going to be your 2, then start it. You've had a bit of training. Obviously, I know Fernandes has been away on international duty, but Magassa's had a full sort of couple of weeks of training now. Let's see him. I don't see him being. I hope not. Hope he's not worse than James Ward-Prowse. And I thought Ward-Prowse and Souček did fine in the game. Don't get me wrong, against Forest. And by all means, I think he will stick with James Ward-Prowse and Souček. I'll be flabbergasted if he plays these 2. I think he's going to play Fernandes further forward like he did against Forest, which I really don't want to see. I want to see Fernandes in the middle of the park. And that's what I would go with. Obviously, I'm going to bring Somerville in as well. But if they're going to be your 2, why not start now? See how it goes. If after at half time it's not working, take someone off. But Fernandes and Magassa for me.
Okay. Oh, I'll tell you what. Then do your other front 3 then as well. Not your striker for now. So you've said so. You have Magassa and Fernandes as your midfield. Who are your 3 then?
Yeah. So Bowen on the right. Bowen on the right, Paqueta in the number 10, and Somerville on the left. I think Somerville is just a massive, massive difference to us, and we saw that against Forest. So I think that's our best team now going forward. So that's what I'd go with. Yeah,
I've tried to be a little bit conservative this because I'm worried that I don't want to cock up Somerville's recovery because I can see he's going to be so important for us this season. So as much as I would have absolutely copied exactly what you did, I changed my mind last minute because I just thought it might be a bit of a risk. If I'm the manager, I don't know if I really want Somerville starting this. I maybe want to, maybe just throw him maybe the last half an hour, maybe 40 minutes or something like that. Do you know what I mean? I'm not sure I want to be playing him for 90 minutes yet. So I've said Magassa because I want to see him. I don't see why not. And Thomas Souček actually is my midfielders. I just think I still think Souček's going to be played by a vital role. I still think he's got something about him, especially in these sort of games as well. Set pieces,
Yeah,
Souček seems to be important. So I think Magassa and Souček as my middle, my midfield, and the front, sort of the three will be Bowen out on the right. I'm going to put Matías Fernandes out on the left to start, and then Lucas Paqueta as number 10. But my view will be that during the game, I will take off Souček. I will put on Somerville, and then I'll swap them over. I'll have then Fernandes going back into the middle, and then Somerville on the left. So very, very similar. Now the striker situation, of course, Fulkrug we got to assume is not going to be available. Again, this is where my mind's at. I don't really want to start Callum Wilson as much as I think he will. Just on the same basis of Somerville, really, I'm a bit wary. I don't really want to just, we've just got an injury to a striker. I don't want another one. So I'm thinking I'd actually rather start Callum Marshall, give him a go, because I actually think the way we're going to play this game is similar to how we've been playing under Potters. I think we'll probably be quite cagey the first half, try and get it to a 0-0. We might nick a goal, but I don't think we're going to go gung ho to start with. I think we'll probably play quite defensive and just try to see the game to half time, and then the second half go for it. And then they're probably like, right, now we'll put on Somerville, and now we'll go more attacking. And that's when maybe you'll see Wilson second half and say, right, we're going to try and win this game. That's my guess how Potter's going to try and play this game. So I'm actually starting Marshall, but I've said like brackets Wilson. So and to be honest with you, I'd quite like to see Marshall play. Why not? Get him out there. He'll be busting a gut to do well. Do you know what I mean? What an opportunity for him to go and play against Tottenham. I don't get me wrong, Potter won't do this, but that's what I would be thinking. I assume you're starting Wilson then.
Yeah, I feel like I can completely see your point and your reasoning. I just feel like against a team like Tottenham, who do have quality going forward, you can be waiting for the 60th minute to bring the likes of Wilson and Somerville on, and you can be 2-0 down, and that pretty much the game's done. So I would rather start, all guns blazing, try and get the goal, and then sit on it, and then you've got Marshall to come off if Wilson can't. Is blowing up 60 minutes, and then you've got someone on the counter attack that's got a bit of pace and a bit of movement behind him. So this is what I mean for Wilson. It's a big game for him. I think he's come off the bench. It's a lot easier to come off the bench and do something as a striker than it is to start and play well for the full 60, 70 minutes before you go off. So it's a big one for him. And I'll be interested to see how he does in this team. So, I've gone with Wilson.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I understand. Well, when I say I agree with that, I've gone with my other sort of method approach where I'm sort of being a bit safer first half than going for it second. But I totally get what you're saying. Go for it, get in front, we're leading at half time, then go a little bit more careful the second half. I kind of get that. So yeah, understand it, mate. Right, the question is now, what do you reckon? What do you reckon of this one?
I think a real topsy-turvy game. I think it's going to be one of those games we've seen at London Stadium where it just the momentum shifts one way and then the other, and you have spells where we're on top playing really well. We maybe get a goal, and then likewise with Spurs. So I am going for Desmond 2-2.
Desmond 2-2. All right, fair enough. I'm got a feeling we're going to win it. I'm saying 2-0 West Ham. I think we're going to beat them. Just only because I think it's. Yeah, well, I just think on the basis of what we've said, really, just think it's a big game for us. I think we're going into it with our tails up. We've got reason for a bit of optimism, and I don't think Tottenham were that great. I think they're coming off a really poor performance, so I think they could be there for the taking a little bit here. If we can, I imagine Potter's been watching that Bournemouth game over and over. What did they do? What did they do to absolutely destroy Tottenham? And then I think if we can match that kind of game plan, then I think we've got every chance of beating them. So fingers crossed, mate. But you know what? A draw wouldn't be a bad result, but it'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Wouldn't a win be fabulous?
Yeah.
Right. That's it, mate. That's it. We'll be back. We'll do a review of this. We'll chat about having another video next week and things like that. So, Tom, always a pleasure, mate.
Thanks for having me on.
No, of course, mate. Anytime. And here we go, mate. Another game we've got to endure. And hopefully, it will be one that we can come away again, and it will be a good performance and a good result. Let's wait and see. Come on, you ones.